Welcome back. This is an assignment you can do at the end of our online lessons where you now have become a development worker. There are some things that I'd love you to do. First of all, I'd like you to choose a country. So those countries to choose from will be either Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda or Tanzania. First of all, as a development worker, you need to gather information on the country you're working in. Now, obviously, you're not in one of those countries and you have never lived there. You may have visited once. Maybe you have relatives who are there, but you don't really know much. So this is where you need to do your homework, because if you want your project to be successful and you're going to be doing a project, you will need to have the information. You can easily do this by going into Mr. Google, by reading some books, asking some people, and getting some information about your chosen country. Some of the information I'd like you to gather is this. Maybe it was colonized. What does colonized mean? You have to be able to tell me that. What is the capital city? What is the name of the largest city? Sometimes the largest city is not always the capital. What are some of the major religions in that country? Is there a percentage of children, women or men? It's important to get that information before you work in a place. There's a thing called the GDP. I want you to think about that, find some information on it. Basically, it's like this. What does a country earn most of its money on, and what does it spend it on? That's an issue. Some of the information we can find is what is it like for people there. So I'd like you to find information on an international school. These are for students who might be children of diplomats, ambassadors, very important people, prime ministers and presidents, and they will go to an international school. So I need you to find some information on the name of an international school. What are some of the things like school fees, for example? On the other end of the spectrum, because you're a development worker, you're going to be working with very needy people. We tend not to call them poor people because everybody's poor in some way, whether that's money, values, character, family. So we say these are needy people. What are some of the health issues that people suffer from, especially waterborne diseases? So in my country I live in, there's a big struggle against dysentery and cholera. But also there's malaria, which is not a waterborne disease, but it is connected to it. I would like you to include a map so you can copy and paste that into there. This is just your introduction to the country that you are going to be working in as a development worker. Once you've gathered this information, I would like you to give your organisation that you're working with a name. Now, you cannot choose one that is already there, like Compassion or Oxfam or World Vision. I want you to create the name of your organisation, your development. Now, we've already discussed the difference between development and aid. So you're going to not be able to say, well, we are giving out emergency water supplies to people. You're going to create a long-term plan. You're going to give the name of a village. Now, the way to do this is on your map, have a look at some places that seem far, far away. Usually the capital city of a country is in large letters, in capital letters. So just have a look. Is there something far away from that? Find some information. So I want you to choose the name of a small town or a village. And your job is to bring about improvement in the water area. Obviously, as we've discussed, people walk a long way to go and get water, or they drink water that is very dirty and unhealthy for them. So what are you going to bring to that village of people in the area of water or sanitation, some improvements? And your answers need to include the who they are, what is going to happen, when you're going to do it, where, of course, that we need that information, how are you going to, and of course, why you think these people need your assistance. Now remember, it's about community involvement. So I want you to think about not you as a foreigner coming in with loads and loads of money to be able to save this village from disaster by giving them this, this and this. I want you to think about practical things that we've talked about over this series of how you can assist them. Basically, we want them to help themselves, but they don't have resources, as we've been discussing. So I want you to think about that, come back with an assignment. I want you to do a nice title page and things like that, and bring it in to your teachers, and then they were going to send it to us, and we will grade it on what we think of how you have solved a big problem with water and sanitation in your chosen country. Have a great time.